Hello everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the live. It's the one only MC ERASTUS, from Kenya, Africa. How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing tonight? It was a beautiful Monday. Show me some tides. Like and sub to the channel. Hope you're doing good tonight. What's going on? Alberto says hi. Sorry, Alfredo says hi. How you doing, Alfredo? Rex says hello. How y'all doing? Welcome to the live. What's going on? It's the one and only MC Erastus, from Kenya in Africa. It's been a beautiful Monday. Hope you're all doing good. Hope you're all doing good today. Alfredo Sandoval. Hope you're all doing good. Rex. I like the name Rex. Rex says nothing, just a quick long sheesh right now. All right, sheesh. Rex MC Cool says going. Let me know where you are watching me from. Let me know where you're watching me from today. Show me some tights, like and sub, yo. Kobe Hama says, can you smile? Yeah, for sure. Why not? Welcome live, Kobe Hama. Let me know where you're watching me from. Welcome to the live, like and sub. Let me know where you're watching me from. Kobe Hama says, eat, bro. Hope you're doing good today. Some ERASTUS here, from Africa, Kenya. Let me know where you're watching me from today. How y'all doing today? Welcome to the live. Kamei, Kamil, welcome to the live. Kamil says hi. How are you doing, Kamil? That's a unique name, Kamel. I'm from Africa, in Kenya. Where are you from, Kamel? Kamel says, I'm from Congo, but I live in America. All right, that's wonderful. Where do you prefer to live in, Congo or America? Which is better, Congo, DRC, or America? Let me know. Both. That's a good answer. If you had to pick one, you know, let's say you had an option to pick one. I know Congo is your home, home sweet home. And America, I believe they call it the land of opportunity. Kamal says Congo. What's the difference in culture between America and Congo? What's the difference there? What's the difference in terms of culture? What are the major differences you've noticed between America and Congo? If you'd like to share with us. what are the differences between Congo and America in terms of culture. Because I believe in DRC, it's in Central Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo, as a full name. They have a lot of vegetation in terms of forests. That means the area has fertile lands and a lot of rain. It's a good place to be in. With all that vegetation in terms of forest, it's a good place to be in because most parts of Africa, they rely on agriculture. So I believe Congo must be doing fine, in terms of agriculture. Squirrel Sniper, how you doing? Welcome to the live. Show me some tides. Like and sub. Squirrel Sniper says, "Greetings, beautiful souls from across the pond, but under the same skies." All right, that's a good introduction. Jimmy Vikstrom said hi. Jimmy Vikstrom, welcome to the live. How are you doing today? How you all doing today? Jimmy Vikstrom, do you remember me? For sure, I remember you very well. Yeah, for sure. Yesterday. How you all doing? How have you been doing since yesterday? How have you been doing since yesterday? Jimmy Figstrom said you did the football trick. Let me know. Do you want me to do it again? Do you want to see me do it again? The football trick, putting the ball in my head and then balancing the ball. Simple trick. Simple trick. Doesn't require much. Kamel says, I am back. All right, welcome to the live. Jimmy Vikstrom says, I need to do the football trick. All right, pay attention, everybody. Watch. This is my ball. I'm going to balance it on the head over here. Here we go. Like and sub, guys. It's easy. Simple. Kamel says, cool. All right, all right. Let me know where you're watching me from today. Let me know where you're watching me from today. Jimmy Vikstrom says, Kamel, do you like it? I do. Okay, Kamel, answer the question. Scooter Snapper says, can you do that while saying the alphabet backwards? I can try, Camilla says, her. Jimmy Vikstrom says the trick. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't said the alphabet backwards before. Because I don't believe there's any benefit in knowing the alphabet backwards unless you're in some kind of competition whereby you can be asked such kind of a question, then it's important to know the alphabet backwards. Carmen is from Congo, but right now she's in the USA. She's in America. Remind me, where you watching me from today? Where you all watching me from today? Kamal says she's from Congo, but right now in America. Let me know, where you watching me from today. It's a beautiful Monday. Yeah, yeah. Kamal says America. Yeah, for sure. Are you comfortable telling us which part of America? Which part of America you watching the live from? Kamal says, anyway, bye. I got to go. All right, for sure. For sure. Bye bye. Take care of yourself, Kamal. Be safe in the streets. Squirrel Sniper says, smart, it's remembering lots of knowledge. Wise is using the knowledge what it's needed. Yeah, for sure. I believe it's also important to just grasp what is going to be useful. You don't need to know everything, just what is going to be useful to you. How y'all doing today? What's trending? What's trending? Let me know where you're watching me from today. Let me know where you're watching me from today. Let me know where you're watching me from today. It's a beautiful Monday. Squirrel Sniper says, where are you from? I'm from Africa, in Kenya. I'm from Africa, in Kenya, a country called Kenya. Some say Kenya is the capital city of Africa for some reasons. I'm from Africa. Africa is a continent in Kenya. I say Kenya is the capital city of Africa. Show me some tides, yo. Like and sub to the channel. If you're new, like and sub. All my returning folks, welcome back. How y'all doing today? Let me know where you're watching me from. It's the one and only MC ERASTUS from Kenya in Africa. Squirrel Sniper says, my friend Keba came from there. Alright, shout out to your friend Keba. Let me know where you're watching me from today. Let me know where you're watching me from, Squirrel Sniper. Squirrel Sniper says my friend Keba came from there. That's good to hear. So your friend came from Keba. Your friend Keba came from here, Kenya. So how did you two meet? How did you two meet? Squirrel Sniper says, I'm off to practice some golf. Squirrel Sniper says, I'm from South England. Alright. I'm South England. That's good, that's good. Squirrel Sniper says, in London, he worked in the film industry. We both did. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. How long did you work in the film industry? To be honest, I'm a fan of films and movies. So it's a good way of spending time alone, enjoying some movie. What's the name of the film you act in? Maybe I can go have a look at it, see how you're doing in the film. What's the name of your most memorable film you act in? You can share to us any memorable film that you act in. You might have a look at it. I'm off to practice some golf. That's interesting. How will you rate your golf skills out of 10? Your expertise in terms of golf. How will you rate it out of 10 so far? Squirrel Sniper says, about 5 years after leaving school, I was a runner that worked behind the scene, helping cameraman and lighting. Oh wow, I like that. One of the most interesting things that people tend not to realize is that the individuals who are behind the scenes are crucial in any company, in any setting. Those guys behind the scenes, their work is more vital. It's important because without behind the scenes, the actual action doesn't happen. For the actual happen to happen, you need the behind the scenes people, the behind the scenes guys to be at the top of their game. So shout out to you, bro. So Squirrel Sniper says about 5 years after leaving school. Okay, I'm a person who is very interesting to know what you learned there. Squirrel Sniper says about 7.3 if 10 is professional. Oh, that's good, good. Squirrel Sniper says the runners are invaluable. I agree with you. I agree with you totally. Oh, yeah, what are the life lessons you learned, you know, from being a runner behind the scenes? What are the valuable lessons that you learned about life, from doing your film behind the scenes? What are the valuable lessons about life, Because I believe any moment in life is an opportunity to learn. Squirrel never says, even your heroes are human. Wow, that's an invaluable point right there. Even your heroes are human. That is interesting in that we also can be heroes because they were just like us. They did things, heroes do things that are unimaginable, things that require courage. They are also human like us. That means we can be like them, just like them, you know. Squirrel Sniper says attention is the highest form of currency exchange rate. Who? I agree with you there. Indeed, attention is the highest form of exchange rate. Attention equals currency. Because I believe anywhere in the world you go to, if you have attention, there's a high chance you make a lot of money. Because let's take a mere example. If you're dealing with any woman, if you're texting and she's texting back, the mere fact that is texting back shows that she might be interested in you. There's a high chance she's interested in you. Because attention equals currency. And I agree with you. I agree with you. Is there any lesson that you might want to share with us that you learned from the film industry, working as a runner? You've told us that every heroes are human and also attention is the highest form of currency exchange rate. right. I wrote that down over here. I down. Squirrel Sniper says my three most important traits: imagination, attention, and empathy. Who? I agree with you. Imagination, attention, empathy. That's powerful right there. That's powerful. Intention equals intuition. I agree. That's so powerful, you know. You're dropping some life lessons over there. You know, what is interesting about life is that some of the life lessons we learn, it might take us 2 years, 3 years. There's just simple things that we will not have realized, you know, living, let's say, or spending time with our families, you know. That's how life is. That's how interesting life is. Some just simple things we learn, and they are cemented in the back of our minds. And it takes us time, you know, to understand and appreciate those things. School Snapper says the micro is the micro is the micro. The micro is the micro is the micro. The micro is the mic. The micro is the macro is the micro. That's interesting. What's that supposed to mean? Is that a saying? Is that a quote? What's that supposed to mean? That's very interesting. Help us understand. You know, the micro is the macro is the micro. What is that supposed to mean in simple terms? Who? Everything is connected. That's powerful. The micro is the macro is the micro. I like that. Squirrel Sniper says the smaller things are duplicate on a huge scale by nature. I like that. Smaller things are duplicate on small scale. The smaller things are duplicate on a huge scale by nature. You know, how you do small things is how you do large things. If you're blessed with the small things, and then God sees that you are responsible with the small things, then He'll allow you to get the larger things because He knows you'll be responsible. You're responsible for the smaller things. That's life right there. And then Squirrel says, time is not linear but reciprocal. And then Square Sniper says, as the end is the beginning is the end, and the end is the beginning. What are those called? There is a name for that. As high is below, and as below is above. There's a name for that. There's a name for those phrases, that have similar beginning. What's the name? What's the name? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. But there's a certain name of how you call these phrases. Let me know, School Sniper. Do you know the name of these phrases? School Sniper says integrity is being the best you can, even when no one is looking. Integrity is being the best you can, even when no one is looking. As above, so below. Correct. But just to mark on the integrity part, that is being true to yourself. Even when no one is watching, just stay on the ground, stay rooted to your principles. You know, be honest with yourself, be true to yourself. I like that. As above, so below. Wow, those are some powerful words right there. As above, so below. As above, so below. That's interesting. So how is the golfing so far? The golfing. What's going on in the golf? Excuse me. It's not just the words of your intention that creates action. Is the energy of vibration of the intent. It's not just the words of your intention that creates attraction. It's the energy of vibration of intent. That's powerful. Let me write that down. It's not just the words of your intention that creates attraction. It's the energy of vibration of the intent. I like that. Squirrel Snapper says, I haven't played for 15 years. After I fell 40 FT at work and learned to walk again. I'm good now. God is great. God is all powerful. Soccer Squirrel Snapper says, you haven't played for 15 years after I fell 40 feet at work and learn to walk again. Like, okay, what part of your body did you get to injure that rendered it impossible for you to walk again? That should not have happened to you. But which part did you fall with? Which part was hurt so bad that you are unable to walk again, and then you learned how to walk again? Squirrel Sniper says, but golf is like most sports. It's all about muscle memory. Which part did you get to hurt? John says, I love you, my baby. Oh, oh, oh. Welcome to the live, John. Let me know where you're watching me from, John. Mm-hmm. Squirrel Sniper says, I fell on my chainsaw, broke my T9 to 12 spine. Squirrel Sniper says, I fell on my chainsaw, broke my T9 to T12 spine vertebrae. And then I have 6 pins and a plate of metal holding me together. God is great, you know. You're able to walk again. Shout out to him. He's wonderful. God is wonderful, you know. I believe it was the acting part, you know. I don't want you to remember the incident, but how do I put it? Is there anything that you could have done better to prevent the injury or to prevent you from falling, you know? Is there anything that you could have done to prevent you from falling? Because, you know, 40 feet is a great distance. Do you believe there is anything you could have done, you know, to prevent you from falling? Do you believe there is anything you could have done maybe to prevent you from falling? Is is there any chance there is anything you could have done? No, is there any chance? Squirrel Sniper says, sure, it was my fault. Working on a hot day, last three of the day. Alright, what's the difference between working on a hot day and working on a cold day in terms of working on the tree? Is there any difference? What's the impact? Squirrel Sniper says, I was rushing to get home as my wife was pregnant with my firstborn. Oh, congratulations, man. Congratulations on being a father. Okay, what's the difference, you know, when you're working on a tree and then when it's cold and when it's the opposite, when it's hot? What's the difference? Ah, Squirrel Sniper says dehydration, not thinking clearly. I get it now. You're dehydrated and you're not thinking clearly. Okay. All right, all right. That means individual we need to stay hydrated. When you stay hydrated, you're able to have that clarity, because our body is made up of 75% water. Because our blood itself is 75% water. This flesh we have, our skin, it's clear because of the water we have. Our hair is shiny because of the water. If we have beards, they shine because of the water we have in our body. Squirrel Sniper says, I didn't clip into my secondary line and didn't double check when I released my main line. Alright, alright. Then Squirrel Sniper says, water is the key to all the mysteries. I agree. I agree. Even it's interesting. If you watch the Avatar, the movie, the elements that you're supposed to master. First is the air. Air helps you breathe. Second one is the water, you know. And then the third is earth, and then the fourth is fire. So air and water are very, very important. It's funny how movies can teach us lessons, but if only if you pay attention and be keen on the small, small details, you learn a lot. Air, water, earth, fire, the elements that the hero of the movie is supposed to master. Water is the key to all realms. For sure. I agree with you there on that point. Water is the key to all realms. Squirrel Sniper says, what about all of them? What all four elements are always accompanied by the fifth ether? Ether is the key to solving all free energy problems. That's an interesting point. I'm gonna look it up and then I'm gonna get back to you. All the four elements accompanied by the fifth, which is ether. I like how you're thinking about it. I admire it. You've given me something to think about. I'm gonna look it up. Ether is the key to solve all free energy problems. That's interesting. What time is it there in England right now? Square Sniper, the time is 21:43. Yeah, it's 11:43 p.m. So you guys are 2 hours behind us, sorry. Square Sniper says, please look up sono, solol, solum, sonol, sonoluminescence, sonoluminescence, a star in a jar experiment. That's interesting. With sound frequency and a trapped bubble of air and water. Let me write that down. Okay, writing this down. A star in a jar experiment with sound frequency and a trapped bubble of water. Sololuminescence. All right. Sololuminescence. I got it. Thank you. Sololuminescence experiment with sound frequency and a trapped bubble of air in water. That's interesting. What happened? What happened in this sololuminescence experiment? What happened? The sound wave collapses the bubble and creates light. That's a very interesting experiment. The sololuminescence experiment, a star in a jar experiment with sound frequency and a trapped bubble of air in water. The sound wave collapses the bubble and creates light. That light was the temperature of the supposed sun. And this argues that ether should be the fifth element after air, water, earth, and fire. That's very interesting. Wow. Anyway, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. The sonoluminescence experiment. Scooter Sniper says, do you have green beetles like the Egyptian scarabs? Yeah, we have green beetles, but they are not in the open unless you go to places like forests, game parks, they'll expose themselves. But here in the open, no, it's very rare. It's very rare to see the beetles. All right, let me ask you a very interesting question, Scooter Sniper. I saw a quote the other day that says, any man out here can be a father, any boy can be a father, but it takes a special man to be a dad. Any man can be a father, but it takes a special man to be a dad. What are the important lessons that you've learned by being both a father and a dad? What are the most important lessons you've learned from being a father and a dad and a parent? Do you have green beetles over there in England? Do you have green beetles also in South England over there? Squirrels never says, that's very true. My father has always been there for me. I will for my son. All right, I like that. Squirrel Sniper says, yes, we do, but much smaller. Oh, that's interesting. How is the vegetation like in South England? What kind of vegetation do you have there in South England? I'm interested to know what kind of vegetation do you have over there in South England? What kind of vegetation do you have over there in South England? Because I believe the world phenomena is the same everywhere. The world phenomena are the same everywhere. I believe in geography back in high school when we were learning about the origin of the earth. There was this theory that says when you merge the continents together, the shape of the continents, they seem to fit together into a certain shape. That means also, in that theory, it was explaining that some vegetation they appear the same in different continents, just the same. It explains here as to why also you have beetles over there, we have beetles over here, but you said yours are much smaller. That's a good point to note. Okay, what are the lessons you've learned from being a father? All right. Scooter Sniper says exactly. At one stage, the world had a vapor canopy, and everything from reptile to mushroom was gigantic. Wow. I'm interested to know what happened. Is it global warming that changed everything, that impacted the kind of vegetation that we have right now? What do you think happened? Scooter Sniper says the atmosphere was different. At one stage, the world had a vapor canopy, and everything from reptile to mushrooms was gigantic. The atmosphere was different then. That means that right now our atmosphere is polluted. Is there any chance that has been led by industrialization? You know, what do you think? Do you think that industrialization has played a major part in that? Squirrel Sniper says, so no dinosaurs like you have been taught. Nope, it's natural. But I believe there are some theories that explain that there have been, you know, remains of dinosaurs. Do you believe in that? Do you believe in dinosaurs? The earth breathes in and out twice a day, cleaning the oceans and recycling. That's a good point over there. That's a good point. That shows how his wonders work, you know. Sometimes things happen in life and you sit down and like that's that's very exquisite, you know. That's very impeccable. That is beautiful. The wonders of the world, God's own creation. Beautiful, admirable, fantastic. Are you connected to any landmass? Are you connected to any water body over there? Are you surrounded by any water body over there? Because over here we have the Indian Ocean in the coastline, you know. We have sea breezes most of the time. And where I'm at in Nairobi, we have some places where we have mountains. One of the mountains over here, we have Mount Kenya, Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Longonot. We have land breezes occurring, you know. We also have lakes over here, freshwater lakes, salty water lakes, you know. It's good to be around those places during the day. Just fresh, clean air, you know. Squirrel Sniper, are you still there? Right now it's midnight over here, you know. It's midnight over here. I believe it's 10 p.m. in England right now. 10 p.m. in England, midnight over here. In America right now, there are 12, there are 8 hours behind us. America right now, 4 p.m. in America. Squirrel Sniper, are you there? I'm about to jump off, go get some sleep, you know, prepare for tomorrow. Otherwise, guys, like and sub, you know, like and sub. Let's grow together. Squirrel Sniper, are you there? Squirrel Sniper says life should be about just walking. Other home. Alright, Squirrel Sniper. I'm about to jump off. I'm about to jump off this live. I'm about to jump off this live. Squirrel Sniper, are you there? I'm about to jump off this live. Ami Munoz, say the hi. How are you doing, Ami? Welcome to the live. It's the one and only MC ERASTUS from Kenya, Africa. How you doing today? How you doing today? You came with some tights. I've seen you've liked. I appreciate you. Welcome to the live. Ami Munoz. Let me know where you're watching me from. Welcome to the live. Let me know where you're watching me from. Alright guys, I'm gonna jump off this live. Make sure to like and sub. Until next time, take care everybody. I'm out. Bye bye. Peace.